Welcome back to Titleholder Talks with Emily. I'm so thrilled to have you all with me on this episode today. Titleholder Talks with Emily is a podcast all about sharing the stories and experiences of title holders across all different pageant systems. Today's guest is very, very special as she's the first guest that I'm having on Titleholder Talks with Emily from the Miss Volunteer America organization. So I hope you enjoy getting to hear all of her stories. See you when she joins. Hi, everyone. We have a very, very special guest joining us on the podcast today. So, Gracie, if you want to introduce yourself, go right ahead.
Thank you so much for having me. Well, for starters, my name is Gracie Arnold, and I am your current Miss South Carolina Teen Volunteer 2024. I actually give my crown up next Saturday, which is so unbelievable. I can't believe this year. It's going by so fast. I blinked and it's already here. But besides that, I am a 16-year-old rising junior at Trinity Collegiate School. I'm from a city called Florence, South Carolina. I'm the baby of four girls, and I love to sing.
Yay, that is so wonderful. Again, I'm so excited to have you on the podcast today. So, to jump right into these questions, first and foremost, how did you get your start in pageantry and in the Miss Volunteer America organization specifically?
Yeah, so I just mentioned I love to sing, and I started pageantry because of singing. I started getting vocal lessons when I was only 7 years old, and this kind of sparked my interest in pageantry. My mom grew up doing pageants, and my sister dabbled a little bit in it, and she kind of caught my eye when it came to pageants. And I would go to pageants, and I would always look at these girls using their voice and talent, and I fell in love with that. And I would go to compete, and I would always notice that talent was put into an optional category, which I didn't necessarily love. And then I found the volunteer organization, and they actually have an equally distributed score of 25%, which means my talent matters, my interview matters, my evening gown, my fitness. So overall, I found my love for pageants through singing.
That is so wonderful. I know a lot of girls in many different organizations find their homes in their respective organizations
Yes.
because of things like the talent portion of competition. So it's so nice to see that, from one title holder in a different organization to another, that, talent is still so important.
Yeah.
So, going along, how did you start your serve initiative? And can you talk to us a little bit about what it is? And again, how did you start it and what you've been able to do with it as Miss South Carolina Teen Volunteer?
Yes, of course. So mine actually has a very interesting backstory. It is called Angel Kisses because when I was a little girl, I used to get picked on for my freckles. And I would come home crying to my mom, and she would always tell me that I was kissed by thousands of angels. Hence the name of my now serve initiative, Angel Kisses. And once I got a little older, I started going into elementary, kindergarten, and middle schools and really just instilling kindness in them at a young age because it's so important to teach them at such a young age. And if you don't know, actually 50% of children remember what they're taught when they're older, which is why I've kind of made it my mission to start it at a young age. And through this, I've been able to speak to over 1,500 students across the state of South Carolina. I even have built my own blessing box for Angel Kisses. It's located at the Courtney McGinnis Homeless Shelter for House of Hope. And I'm so excited to continue my journey of serving my state of South Carolina while also using my Angel Kisses platform.
That is such a unique serve initiative and such a unique
Yes.
platform. But I love that it really spreads the message of kindness to everybody everywhere. So, again, absolutely love that.
Thank you.
Of course. So, what have you been able to accomplish as South Carolina Teen Volunteer? You're giving up your title, like you mentioned, next weekend, but what is
Yes.
some of the things, or what are some of the things that you've been able to accomplish with your title?
So, kind of tying along with my Angel Kisses platform, I got to create my own anti-bullying website where I not only got to share my personal story of being bullied, but where others can go in anonymously and share theirs as well. That was something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but have really never had the ability to do it until I was crowned Miss South Carolina Teen Volunteer. I built my blessing box. And I also got to go meet the governor at the State House of South Carolina, which was such a huge honor to walk into his office and get to have a conversation with him. I got to talk to him all about Angel Kisses and why this is so important to me. And I'm just so excited to see where my journey goes after I give my crown up.
For sure, and that is so amazing. Again, as somebody who was, when I had my title, also able to visit the state capitol and the governor and people like that,
Yes.
it is such a special opportunity. So I'm so glad that somebody else was able to have that while they were a state title holder.
Yes, it's such an honor and it was so surreal and so cool.
I bet it was. So you talked a little bit about your love for talent in a previous answer. So what is your favorite phase of competition and why?
Besides talent, which will always have my heart, the past 2 years, I would say, I've kind of grown a love for interview and talking. I love to talk. I'm the baby, and everyone was out of the house by the age I was 10. So I never really had a lot of people to talk to besides my parents and my 2 pound teacup Yorkie Daisy. So whenever I would go out, I would always find people to talk to. And interview is just a wonderful way to connect with the judges and share their stories. Whenever I get the opportunity to talk about my story and to talk about angel kisses, I always jump on that. Um, and I love interview. It's just I don't know. It's weird. You have to be a special person to honestly love to interview because most people don't because a lot of nerves are involved when it comes to interview, but I love it.
As somebody who gets the little bit of the jitters before going into interview, I actually do agree with you. I really love going into interview and getting
Yes.
to talk to the judges and have them get to know me and also myself get to know them one on one when you're in a private room with them as opposed to them watching you do your talent or talk on stage for a couple of seconds for on stage question or things like that. It's a really special moment and a really special phase of competition. And I'm glad that organizations like the Miss Volunteer America organization have really adapted that into their competition.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
So I know that scholarship is a big part of the Miss Volunteer America organization, as well as the Miss America opportunity where I came from. So what are you planning to do with your scholarship money that you have earned as Miss South Carolina Teen Volunteer?
Yes, well, I am still not quite there to apply for college yet, but I do have big dreams and big aspirations. I want to go to Clemson University and hopefully major in broadcasting and journalism. I would love to do something with that. But honestly, I'm kind of at a loss what I want to do a little bit with my future. I love music therapy, but I also love speaking to others, like with broadcasting. But I know for sure I want to go to Clemson. I know for sure that that is where I want to end up. Just like my granddad, he went to Clemson. He was an engineering student and graduated in the 60s, which is so cool to me. I love hearing about all of his stories from Clemson, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get in. That's one of my biggest dreams, so I would hope so.
That is such a sweet story. And as somebody who is going into their upcoming sophomore year of college, my major is actually communication, sports journalism, and
Wow.
yeah, hopefully I will in the future be able to have a job as a sports broadcaster. So
Yes,
very
I love
similar,
that.
yes, very similar interests there, but I love that I have another pageant sister that is also very interested in what I want to do.
Yay.
So obviously in March you went and competed at Miss Teen Volunteer America. What was that experience like? What were your favorite moments during the week? And really overall, how did you feel competing at Miss Teen Volunteer America?
Oh my goodness, it was so surreal and it was just the best week ever. I'd been looking forward to it for a long time because not many people know this about me. It actually took me 2 times to win my state title. So going to nationals is something that I've been looking forward to since 2022. And so finally getting there to that end goal, which it was amazing. I always say that it was honestly kind of like my Super Bowl. And it was so surreal and so amazing. I got to meet Louisiana, Ava Martin, and we have become the bestest of friends. I tell my parents, I'm like, she's going to be one of my future bridesmaids. We talk almost every single day. I love her to bunch. And I also was the youngest person in the top 12, which was such a huge honor to me to go in there. And it's honestly kind of intimidating I was then 15 and having all of these 18 and 19-year-olds competing against you, and that's very scary to a 15-year-old, but I held my own and I ended up making top 12 being the youngest, and it was just such an honor.
That is such a special experience. I mean, again, as somebody who also went to a national competition this year, having those sisters and those friendships that you get to make with
Yes,
people all across the country is just so incredibly special and unique.
very.
also just, again, getting to go to a national competition is something that girls in pageantry dream of, and getting to be a part of that legacy and a part of that special community that have gotten to that national competition is also
Yes,
such a dream come true.
I agree. Yes, it was a huge honor, and it was just honestly amazing. I got to perform on the same stage that Olivia Newton-John got to sing "Hopelessly Devoted to You" on, and that is incredible. I know 10 years from now, I'm going to be telling my children that, and I still can't believe I did that. I mean, huge honor.
Absolutely. So I know that you guys also have, your points of the crown like we do in the Miss America opportunity, but you guys have five, correct?
Yes, we do. Yes.
That is so awesome. We technically have four, but we have our little special fifth added. So what is your favorite point of the
Oh,
Miss
yes,
Frontier
yes. I've
America
heard that.
crown? Yes, we have technically it's our special. Our special Miss America crowns have technically 4 points, but fifth is the sisterhood, and that's kind of like our special unique added point. But what
Yes.
is your favorite point of the Miss Volunteer America crown, and why is that your favorite?
No, I always get asked this and I never know. But I think coming to the end of my year, I would have to say responsibility. Because if you take responsibility in oneself, one's community, one's education, and one's volunteerism, honestly, everything else is going to fall into line. And yeah, I definitely think volunteer responsibility. See, I don't even know. It's all they're all amazing. So I never know which one to pick. But I would definitely have to say responsibility.
I get you. I mean, whenever somebody asks me my favorite point of the crown, I always have a hard time picking, especially now that we have added
Yes.
our fifth hidden point. It's so hard to choose because they're all just so wonderful. Same as, picking your favorite phase of competition. They're all just so great and you have
Yes.
such a hard time picking, but everybody has their favorites, and it's so awesome to hear, especially as the first interview that I'm doing with somebody from the Miss Volunteer America organization, all about your organization and the points of the crown and everything like that.
Yay.
So, coming up to the last question of this little chat that we've been able to have, what advice would you give to any girls who are preparing to compete in their state or right now local competitions that are happening soon?
I think Billy Joel said it best. You can't be everything before your time. And teaching a newcomer when it comes to pageantry, I think that is the most important thing for them to remember that it's all in God's timing. And when it's your time, it's gonna happen. Trust me. I've been competing for over 5 years now, and I walked away with my first state title last year. And it was a long and lengthy journey, but in everything in His time. I always say that I live for an audience of one, and that truly is what this journey has been. And it was absolutely incredible to finally get to that end destination and to reach this final goal of carrying a state title. But teaching these young girls especially is that, I mean, you truly just can't be everything before your time. And when it's your time, it's going to be your time, and it's going to be right for you.
That is such a wonderful piece of advice, and I love that you gave it and started off with a quote from Billy Joel because I love Billy
Yes.
Joel, especially Vienna, one of my favorite songs. So,
Yes, that's from Vienna. So yes.
yes, so I really love that piece of advice, especially how you tied in your faith and dancing and performing for the audience of one. My faith is also very important to me. So I hope
Yes.
any girls that are listening to this episode out there are able to take your advice going into their competitions. But thank you so much for joining me on this episode today. I had such a wonderful time talking to you and getting to know you.
Thank you so much. It was such an honor to be your first interview from the volunteer organization. It was so fun. Thank you so much.
Of course, and best of luck to you as you give up
Thank
your title
you.
next weekend.
I know, it's so sad. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Of course, you too. Well, that was episode 7, all complete. I hope you enjoyed getting to listen to all of Gracie's stories and experiences throughout her time as Miss South Carolina Teen Volunteer 2024, because I know I definitely did. This podcast will be going live on Spotify and YouTube at Titleholder Talks with Emily, and I will be posting clips from this interview, previous interviews, and future interviews on my Instagram at Titleholder Talks with Emily. See you in the next one.